Hey there, welcome back to the Transfer Show. We'll discuss Jurgen Klopp's record in the transfer market in a moment, and it's some record. But first, the Liverpool manager dismissed suggestions a lack of financial support from the club's owners was behind his decision to step down.
I saw only this morning, surprisingly, when it came out, and I saw Jose Enrique, which I like a lot. And he's obviously has a big Liverpool heart, but he said,
I think something happened. I have my own opinion about it. And I think it has to do with the spending, maybe with the ownership, that he's got tired of it, keep fighting, every single year, to sign maybe the players that he believes he deserves in the team.
That's what I understood. Whatever I say, it's still about FSG, and I can tell you, Jose, it's not. Nothing to do with it. So, this time, what I had here, it would be so easy in this job to just blame the owners and say, yeah, we would have won more trophies if FSG would have spent more. Was I always happy with each second what we did? Exactly, no. But it was absolutely fine.
Yeah, guys, Jurgen Klopp not blaming FSG, and we can see from some of the signings that he has been back. This is Jurgen Klopp's 17th and final transfer window, and more often than not, he and Liverpool have got it right when it comes to recruitment. Lee, as I mentioned, there's a selection of some of Jurgen Klopp's signings. Who would be the number one for you?
Do you know what? It's so difficult, isn't it, just looking at that because of the calibre of player there. And, Mane was one of my sort of favourites, and I think what he did to get the best out of Mane as well. But I just go above, and you can't hide the fact that Salah's just been unbelievable. From watching him at Chelsea and not really being a player that you'd even consider what he is now at Liverpool. And I think that's just transformed down to Klopp of what he gets out of his players, because he's been remarkable for Liverpool.
And there's every type of transfer here as well, Lee. Look, you've got Joel Matip, free. Andy Robertson. We started at, was it Queen's Park, then Hull, £8 to £10 million. Like, the way he's developed him. Yeah. I mean, yes, Virgil van Dijk cost a lot of money. Every Liverpool fan watching us now will go, worth every penny.
Yeah, it is. I think, like you say, you look at that board there in particular and you just think, wow. And they've got more players that we haven't even seen on there. But Mo Salah, I think you just have to look at what he's produced number-wise goals, and he's got the best out of him by a long, long stretch.
I asked you earlier in the show about, the importance of a sporting director, because in those 17 transfer windows, it doesn't seem that Liverpool have got many of those wrong. They seem to hit the jackpot with nearly every single bit of their recruitment. And that's not only just down to the manager, it's the recruitment team and the sporting director as well, isn't it? Yeah,
well, I think you look at Liverpool's model, if you like, and they're not a team that go out and spend fortunes and bring lots and lots of players in, are they? They've got a base and they've got a structure of how they work. Even I think wage structure that's been something that's always been talked about. So you're dead right. You have to look, and that's where you have to look from the top of what they've brought into the football club and how good it's actually been. Because the players they brought in, there hasn't been many that have really not been a hit at the football club. You'd have to dig quite deep to actually figure that out. But there's been players that have been brought in. Even the likes of Origi, who was sort of a bench player who scored goals, important goals. But, I just think the whole package at Liverpool is going to be sadly missed, and they have to make sure that they get it right.
Do you think there was one issue Liverpool had maybe I remember being at Wembley when Spurs beat Liverpool 4-1, and then the summer after... the reason why I'm saying that, I'll tell you why I say, because Spurs didn't make a sign in the summer after, maybe because of situations financially. They went and bought Virgil van Dijk. And that guy there.
Yes.
Like, there's always been Liverpool, sometimes they've had grobbelars, haven't they? Not sound the best of both. This guy is arguably, if not one of the best goalies around.
He is. I think the mould and as you said, I think having a world-class goalkeeper in Alisson is just, it just sets the benchmark throughout the side. I think we always look at their forward players, don't we, and what they produce and the numbers of goals that they produce. Even Jota, he wasn't one of them players that you would think, is he going to fit in a Liverpool shirt? They've seen something in him for sure, and he's producing numbers that you wouldn't expect from Jota. But this is the thing where you've got background people who are looking into numbers, stats, what they do, what they can produce. Do they fit in a Liverpool shirt? This is where it's top class.
And you mentioned the people in the background, but they're so important at a football club. And I keep talking about sporting director and a recruitment team, but what they've done in the last summer's transfer window, it's called Liverpool 2.0 now, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they've changed the entire midfield. So what kind of legacy will Jurgen Klopp leave? But what also, more importantly, what kind of squad is he going to leave for his successor?
It's a great squad. It's something that will appeal to most top managers. I think if a vacancy that's available and you've got a squad of that calibre, as I said, I think it's going to be key whether they keep two of them players that are on the board there. Can they certainly entice them to make sure that they stay at the football club, because they are massive players. But listen, manager, head coach coming into that fold, you would literally, you'd snap their hands off, because if you compared it, we touched on the Man United Liverpool thing, it's a no-brainer.
Before we go, that's the one that intrigues me, because in the summer, Darmish and I on the transfer shows talking about the Saudi Pro League, potential interest, and Mo Salah might be tempted. Jurgen Klopp came out, pre-season tour, sorry, he's ours. Yeah. Now that's not the case. Might there be a temptation there? You never know.
Listen, he's leaving, isn't he, Klopp? So there's always going to be that temptation. It's whether you're the new guy that comes in, can put his arm around him and say, you're staying here, I want you here. And I actually think that Mo Salah, I think if he was going to go, I think he would have gone. I think Mo Salah will come to an agreement if it fits the bill, if it's the right personnel that suits him, because he's a special player. There's no way you can replace Mo Salah, and there's no hiding the fact.
But you say you see a potential agreement, but with Klopp going, would it almost be easier for Mohamed Salah to leave Liverpool?
It'd give him a certainly good excuse to walk out the door, wouldn't it? Because he could easily say that, you know, I'm not happy that Klopp's gone. You know, he's brought the best out of me, which he has. But I don't see the fact of that. I actually think that why would Mo Salah go to the Saudi Pro League? I don't see the fact. It's kicked off, and we're already seeing players coming back, wanting to get out of there because it isn't quite working. So he's a top player. He's Liverpool through and through. I'd be very surprised if they don't come to an agreement. And I think the new man, that'll be key, is that we want Mo Salah sorted out ASAP, because I think that'll make a big decision on who comes in. I really do. The likes of Van Dijk, you know, Trent, the three big players. You take them three players out of the equation, and all of a sudden you've got to try and find players that can fit the bill of that, and there's not many out there like that.